been a lot of player turnover and now coach turnover just in the time you've been here. Are you confident in where this team is going, where the franchise is going, since you're a big part of it?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, things ain't going good right now, and that's life. You know, you just kind of see what type of person you are, what type of man you are. And I wasn't raised to, when things get tough, you know, to want to leave and get out and things like that. So I know a lot of people might think about different situations and teams. Obviously, I got my boys over there in New York and stuff, so obviously everybody goes with that. But, you know, I never was the type of guy to ever, you know, put more on my shoulders and things get tough and it's time to cry out and get out. You know, obviously going to be frustration, and you point to frustration, you get frustrated throughout the season. That's just how I am and how people are that really wants to win and compete. And but no, definitely I feel that I'm here now and want to stay here, and I'm going to keep grinding and getting to wherever we got to get to win. And, you know, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm here to win, and all the other shit don't mean nothing with the accolades. It all comes with it. So just trying to win. I mean,
to that point.
The Villanova boys are back and reunited on the New York Knicks, but is that good enough to get them over the hump? Well, I'll tell you all about that in just a few minutes. For that, if you're new here, my name is Emmanuel Camia, and I just want to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button, leave a like underneath this video, and if you want more NBA takes when the news is breaking, you can follow me on Twitter/X at @E_Camia for more NBA and just general takes. Now let's jump into this video. The NBA offseason is officially off to a good start with this trade. As a refresher, and for people who don't know, yesterday it was reported that the New York Knicks are trading Bojan Bogdanovic and a bunch of trade assets for Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. And here are all the draft capital that the Knicks are giving up in order to acquire Mikal Bridges. They're giving up their 2025, 2027, 2029, 2031 first round unprotected picks, in addition to the Bucks 2025 unprotected first round pick and their own 2028 unprotected first round swap. I should also mention that the New York Knicks also extended Og Anunoby today to a 5-year, $212 million contract, and I think that's a good signing for them. But those were a lot of assets to give up for a player like Mikal Bridges. They went all out for Mikal Bridges, and actually I read a report saying that it was Mikal Bridges that was the one that asked the Brooklyn Nets to trade him to the New York Knicks because he wants to be with his Villanova brothers. So it seems like the Knicks might have had leverage. So I don't know why they gave up all these picks for Mikal Bridges. Now, Mikal Bridges is a very solid player. He's a really, really good role player, like very good. But he is not what I thought the Knicks needed to get this offseason. I thought and still think that the New York Knicks needed to get a bona fide star to pair up with Jalen Brunson. Now, in my opinion, I think Jalen Brunson is a 1A. He's a 1A, and I think he has all the makings of a superstar. He is everything that the media this past season has been telling me he isn't. Guys like Colin Cowherd, Rachel Nichols, they've all been saying he's too short, he can't be a superstar, he can't be the type of guy that leads a team to a championship. But over the course of this past season, and particularly this NBA playoffs, Jalen Brunson showed to me that he has all the makings of a superstar. He showed to me that he's a better player currently right now than Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, and all of the guards that you hear about when you hear about elite guards. The only players that I think he wasn't better than this season was Luka Doncic and maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But aside from that, I think he was top 3 guard all year this year. And so to me, he's proven to me he can be a superstar, a number 1 guy on a championship team. The question is, the New York Knicks need to surround him with the proper talent. They needed to give him a 1B because he is the 1A, and that's not what they did with this trade. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Og Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, they're all very, very good players, and they would be a perfect rotation championship team, but none of them are legit number 2. I was expecting and I wanted the New York Knicks to go after a guy like Paul George, Jimmy Butler, or maybe even try and trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Someone who has proven in the playoffs can rise up to the challenge and put up numbers when it means the most. Not a bunch of really, really solid role players. It can only take you so far, especially in a conference that now has the reigning champions in the Boston Celtics. You look at a roster like the Boston Celtics, and they are stacked to the brim with talent. I mean, wow. And so in order for me, what I was thinking, in order for me to legitimately think that the New York Knicks could be on par with the Boston Celtics, you needed to go get another star, not a really glorified role player. And unfortunately, the New York Knicks got the wrong guy. And look, I understand what the Knicks were trying to do and what Mikal Bridges was trying to do when he asked for this trade. He was trying to recreate his college days. And for those that don't know, Mikal Bridges, Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart all won a national title with Villanova in 2016, and they were really good. But they need to understand this isn't college, though, right? Like, you guys were really good together, the four of you, really good together in college, but this isn't college. That amount of talent on that team, that combination of those four players, in addition to Og Anunoby and Julius Randle, if they do choose to keep him, isn't going to cut it against the Boston Celtics or a Philadelphia 76ers. And I say the Philadelphia 76ers, even though the Sixers lost to the Knicks in a 7-game series this postseason, I say them because they're only going to get better. You have to put things into context here. Look, the 76ers took the Knicks to 7 games with an injured Joel Embiid. If you remember, Joel Embiid was injured this year and was going into the postseason with an injury. The guy was playing on pain medications. He had Bell palsy during the postseason. So next year, I expect him to be better. And next year, this year, Tyrese Maxey got really good. We have to remember, he's still a young player. He's only getting better year in, year out. As good as he was this season, which he was, and especially in the postseason against the Knicks, he's going to be better next year. And then if the 76ers do decide to get somebody else, forget about just getting somebody else. Just getting rid of Tobias Harris automatically makes them better. You have to remember, Tobias Harris in Game 7 against the Knicks pulled off a Klay Thompson in which he had 0 points in a Game 7. Had Tobias Harris just scored 7 or 10 points, or if he just had a regular game where he scores in the teens, the results could have been that much different. It's a different series. It's a completely different series. And so if the 76ers get rid of Tobias Harris and bring someone in, like God forbid they sign Jimmy Butler, what are you going to do against a talent like that? And so for those two teams at the top echelon of the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics and the 76ers, in order to compete with them toe-to-toe and go toe-to-toe with them and really be on the same footing, to the point where I'm comfortable saying the New York Knicks, yeah, they can beat the 76ers and the Boston Celtics, I thought that the Knicks needed to go out and swing for a really bona fide, already established star like Jimmy Butler, Paul George, somebody, not a glorified role player in Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is a very, very good player, right? But he, unfortunately for the Knicks, he is not at the caliber of talent that they need to get over the hump. But here's the silver lining for the Knicks though, right? The silver lining for them is, although Mikal Bridges is not the caliber of player, the talent that the Knicks needed, he fits perfectly for the Knicks. He fits their culture perfectly. He's going to play for the right coach in Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is a grit and grind type of guy. He squeezes out every last potential out of those guys. He makes them work for every point, every defensive possession, every steal, every block. He makes them work hard, right? And it's part of that, in addition to Jalen Brunson, is what's given the Knicks, it's what gave them the ability to make the run they did this year. And Mikal Bridges is someone who hasn't missed a basketball game since high school. He fits that grit and grind mentality perfectly with his Villanova brothers. Villanova is a school that produces very hardworking, well-rounded NBA basketball role player guys. They've produced guys like Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, even Kyle Lowry. It's a very good basketball school. So that's the silver lining for the Knicks here. They got someone who fits their culture perfectly. Unfortunately, that someone isn't up to the talent that I wanted the Knicks to have. And so because of that, I don't think that the New York Knicks are legitimate title contenders with the 76ers and the Boston Celtics still in their conference. Those are my thoughts. That's my thoughts on this trade. I want to know your guys' thoughts, so leave it in the comments below. Again, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And thanks for watching.